If there's people watching this now that want a better life, they are starting out in business, they're starting out as a property investor, maybe a previous business didn't work for them, or they're in a job that they don't like, or a job that's not serving them, and they want to go from 0 to £1 million as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And if you were to do it all over again, where do people start today?
Okay. Well, it's a great question. And I'll pull from my own life first. When Jules and I were homeless and bankrupt, you know, we're in our 20s, touch wood, it was 30 something years ago. I've got to touch wood now, but it was over 30 years ago. And we built back within about 7 years. Now, did I do that straight away? No, I licked my wounds and felt sorry for myself for a little while. But you got to get that shit out of the way because it don't get you anywhere. If I was going back now from the learning of that, what changed me was one day, even though we're delivering pizzas, it was a lunch to evening thing. And I went to the library. There was no internet. I went to the library, and for the first time ever, I saw this self-development section. I thought, what the fuck's that? And then I saw a book by Richard Branson. He weren't a billionaire then, but he was already a millionaire, and he'd written a couple of books. And I read it, and he failed at this, and he failed at this. And suddenly, for me, there was this understanding that I can fail, but it doesn't mean I'm a failure. I can fail, and I can come back. And it's firstly that belief that, you know, failure is not fatal and success is not final, actually was a stepping stone. So however bad the shit is, however wrong it's gone, however much you think everyone's going to think you're a fool, an idiot, a failure, you're only a failure if you stay in that mindset. Right. So the first step is change your fucking mindset now. And if you have to listen to positive podcasts, I mean, I love a guy called Billy Allsbrooks, like an Eminem and a Tony Robbins mashed together. Billy Allsbrooks, listen to him between now and the next meeting. It's really fucking strong, powerful. It's like warriors and champions, you know. And it's like, makes my hair stand on end just listening to it. Because when you're down, you need an antidote that's going to be like a shot in your arm that's going to fucking wake you up. And if you don't, and someone rings you that day and you think, how's it going? What? It's like, fuck me. Even if I wanted your product, it's like hard, but it's like fantastic. You know, oh, right, I thought you'd had some problems. Yeah, but do you know what? I've learned so much and I'm going to go. Because, and we all know the cliches of it's not aptitude, it's attitude and all that lot, and it's not skill set, it's mindset. You've got to fix that.
Great, I love
so the
that.
first thing, fix your fucking mindset. Do whatever you need to do. Listen to audios, listen to podcasts, read books. The second thing is, have you got any money? If you got some money, how can you best use it? And if you haven't got money, sell your car. You know, buy a cheap old shit box, as my business mentor used to call them. And we had a Mini with a fucking hole in it. I could see the road as we're going along. I was like, Jesus Christ, the seat's going to fall through any time. But find something to do it. If I was listening to my mentors then, it would be, what can you do quickly, make some money? You don't want to do a job to do that, because with a job you're always going to be just over broke. Yeah. And even if you're making loads of money, you're making it for someone else.
So be brave and actually make that decision to work for yourself, grow a business, and really start working on that mindset and your attitude, which is really important. You know, people are listening to so much shit out there right now. You got to change the narrative, right?
Well, and you were saying about politics and that, and it's almost like, yeah, I don't think about it as you were answering earlier, because you have to not just look for positive and inject it. You have to avoid at all costs negative. I haven't read a newspaper for years. I haven't seen the BBC. I might see shorts on social, but I haven't watched the news for years. Why would I feed that shit into myself? You know, so avoid the negative. Absorb the positive, and then think about what you can do to make the money again. Great. A good and easy way now, and you guys teach it, is bloody rent to rent. If I had no money and it's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be looking for deals. I'm going to be talking to agents. Listen, I'll take that AST. In fact, I don't want an AST, but I'll give you that if you want, but I'll do 3 years. Give me 3 years of your property. I'll pay you full market rent, no negotiation. I'll then be going to Furniture Village, Dunelm and that, and getting some interest-free credit to furnish that fucking house, and I would start letting it on Airbnb or Booking.com tomorrow.
So focusing on assets.
on assets, and if they're not your assets, how can you make money from someone else's asset?
Right.
And then, you know, suddenly people realise, shit, if I can get 10 of them, and you can quite quickly, as you know, then that'll start giving me some money. Now, I can either put that money to go from 10 to 100, or I can say, I'm going to buy one now. I'm going to buy one because I've got this regular income coming in. And it's doing that. Now, along the way, you're going to have moments where you get sucked back into the anchor of, yeah, but I failed. Why am I going to be successful? So get a mentor.
Great.
Along that way. And if you can't afford one, ask enough people. Ask someone you are sure is going to say no. By the way, I'm not free for any mentoring if someone asks this. I'm shamelessly
I'm
fucking
not free
commercial
either,
about it. Yeah. No, but I give away a lot of free content. I speak at a lot of events for free. But find someone who will do that and ask them. And, one of the people I asked was a guy called Stuart Lawson. He was head of corporate restructuring for KPMG. In the 90s, was charging himself out 18 grand a day. Wow. And I just bought him a lunch every couple of months. But fuck, was he tough. He made me run marathons, cross oceans, climb mountains, because he knew I needed to be distracted from every 6 months or so. I needed to be taken away from the business so I would look back with perspective. And that also taught me all of this is going on. Feed the positive, reject the negative, protect yourself from it. Sometimes that negative is family. Don't be around negative family while that's going on. Find someone who's positive, but also that positive person will probably try to get you to take perspective. You're down in this now, and if you're looking at the shit, all you can see is the shit. Step away. And that's why he would make me run marathons, climb mountains, cross oceans, because he knew I would be far enough away and I'd be in my head in the silence to think about, have I got the right people? Why am I doing it?
What would you say to someone, because they do exist, that may listen to this and their immediate reaction to mentorship, it's a load of bullshit. Why would you pay someone? I don't need a mentor. If someone's got that type of attitude around mentorship, what would be your words to that type of person?
I'd say, who do you know that is the most successful person in any area or sector on the planet? The Donald Trump, like him or hate him, the president of the USA, okay? Tony Robbins, great, massive training company, a gold medalist, David Beckham, whatever sector you want to choose the person who's the best in it. Do you think they have a mentor?
100%.
Even now, they're the best at what they fucking do. They still have coaches, managers, mentors. They're better than those coaches, managers, mentors at what they do, but they can't see what's working and not working in what they do because they're so busy in the doing that somebody who's a mentor can say, oh, I've noticed that if let's say it was a runner, you're dragging your foot a little bit, or you're going into every cell saying, they're all looking for cheapest price these days. They can help you see something you can't see. And they may not be the best deliverer, but they can see the mechanics of it. It's like driving a car. A mechanic will hear what's wrong. I might be a great driver, but I don't know the engine. So a mentor, if the best people in the world at everything have probably got a manager, a mentor, or a coach that they pay to do it, even though they're the best, why the fuck do you think they still do it?
I love that.
And literally the people who are the best in the world and most successful in the world all have managers, mentors, coaches.
It's 100% why I am where I am. 10 years again back into an entrepreneurial journey, having lost everything 10 years ago and making it all back again. You talk about property and doing rent to rent and focusing in on some cash flow. What would you say to anyone that say is not the best at building relationships, or they don't have a lot of confidence when it comes to negotiation or putting themselves out there? They're afraid of what other people are going to say. How do you get over that stuff?
The first thing I'd say is, you don't have to be good at that. Stay broke.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck's sake. If you're crap at something, you got to learn to be good at it.
Great, love that.
The fact is, we all got the same body. We all got the same brain. We do have the same capability if we put ourselves out there. Learn that shit. When you were doing the doors, knocking the doors, that didn't work. Everything you've ever been good at in life, you were shit at to start with. From the first steps, you wanted to walk as a baby, you got up, fell down, got up, fell down, got up, fell down, got up, fell down. I could say you were shit at walking till you did it enough to learn to walk. Yeah, you were shit at riding a bike and you fell off till you did it enough. Now, once you know how to ride a bike, try and fall off. Your body won't let you. It's just a lesson. You have the capability if you get a big enough reason why, but you got to learn some new shit. Because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. They might think they're not good. That may be a true fact at this moment in time, but their brain and their attitude could give them the behavior to become a fucking expert. You know, you see some of my daughter's instruments over there. She's I'd say a world-class orchestral musician. She plays French horn, cello, piano, and she plays in orchestras. When she first used to learn as a little kid, it made my fucking ears bleed. It was, oh my God, not again, kind of thing. 15 minutes a day, that's all. Wow. 15 minutes a day, now she's playing in orchestras.
Great.
If you read for 15 minutes a day in a year, that's 90 hours, that will change your life.
So keep going,
learn.
over and over and over and over again until you master something.
If there's a skill that you think is standing between you and the life you want, gain that skill. And if you really can't gain it, employ it. But, you know, you've got to get it one way or the other.
I want to give some great tips now. Now, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a tax advisor, but I've got many businesses, same as you. We've just had the budget recently. Taxes are going up left, right and centre. So can we just give some practical business tips based on our experience? If you're a business owner, starting, scaling a business, how can we, in this climate, make sure we are the most tax efficient as possible? So
there's two elements to it. Firstly, a lot of businesses aren't successful because they're not employing people. The ones that are employing people are employing crap people. They know it. If I said, if you don't get rid of one person today, you're going to go bust, they know who that person is in the time it took me to say it. So firstly, don't be stupid. You're never going to become massively successful on your own. You need a team. Find a team that is a great team. In terms of tax efficiency, you know, we've had a change of government. They do want to rob the rich to pay the lazy bastards. It's a fact. So the sad thing is the people who are in that £50,000 to £150,000 business bracket, £50,000 to £150,000 earning bracket, they're going to get bled. Because you know what? People who are wealthy learn tax mitigation. They've got great accountants and they'll protect themselves really quickly. We're all already having these conversations legally, but we're having these conversations. So I would be, if I'm a small business, if your accountant isn't giving you some advice already, change your accountant. Okay, so many small businesses, they get an accountant who I can give a bag of receipts to and they'll do my accounts. If you're not uncomfortable with what you're paying an accountant, then you've not got the right accountant. If your accountant isn't saving you multiples of what they cost each year on tax, you've got the wrong accountant.
Great.
So again, it's surrounding yourself with great people. But really wealthy people, if they're paying more than 7% in total, then they've probably not got good accountants. And that's what really breaks my heart is Labour will not hurt me, cannot hurt me, because I'll always find a fucking way around it. Why? Because I use accountants that are advising fucking governments. So they know what's going on, but they also know how best to mitigate. And if it really gets too tough, I'll go to Portugal or Malta or Dubai or somewhere, and then they'll hurt more. But do not get fucking trapped in that mid-ground.
Great. So if you're starting or scaling a business, have a good accountant, get some good tax advice, put as much through your business, legitimate expenses as you possibly can, maybe get the right type of pension to go along with your business. There's actually a lot that
never
can
be
be
uncomfortable.
Done.
Never be comfortable with how much you're paying your accountants. I'm never comfortable. So absolutely get good accountants and be uncomfortable with what you pay them if they're that good. The second question you asked, can you remember what that was? Because
it was just how you can become more tax efficient within your business. What are some of the things that you could be putting through? What's a tax deductible expense? Because a lot of business owners don't actually know, and they're not getting the advice from the bloody accountant.
Here's one. I've got offices I can use and use them all the time, and they're owned by my business partner because he does a lot of commercial and we do resi together. I could go there and have a free office anytime. I could afford an office easily, but I don't have offices. Most of my meetings with people is breakfast, lunch or dinner. One, because that's much cheaper actually than owning a fucking office, and because I go to a similar number of places, I go in, hey Mike, in fact I park out back, walk through their back door, people think fuck me, how does he know these? Because they look after me because I'm one of their biggest customers. Still less than having an office, but suddenly my breakfast, lunch and dinner is paid for on the company because it's a legitimate business meeting. Okay, I meet friends like that. If I really like football and I can and I've got clients who like football, I can take them to football. Hell, if I wanted a holiday and couldn't afford a holiday and I didn't want to take the money out of the business because I didn't want to tax the business, subject to them speaking to their own accountants, but I would look at, there's say a conference in Vegas, and there used to be lots in retail. I'd want to see if I can speak there, then hell, they might pay me to go there. But if I was just going to be learning, One, I want to learn. So I'd invest in that conference some of the money. My wife was always a director and a shareholder. We can both go to that conference. Hell, it's not unreasonable to go a few days early, to stay a few days late. Our flights, our hotel, our food, everything. We've got a holiday.
Great.
Paid for on the business because it has a legitimate business argument. And HMRC cannot argue that, because do they not think Tesco's take people to the World Cup? Do they think Tesco's don't have boxes at every bloody big platform all around the world, or Unilever or Procter & Gamble or BP? If the big companies that do it, they can't stop the small companies doing it. Yeah. So there are ways to expense much of your life and enjoyable pastimes without it ever leaving the business and being taxed before you get the benefit of that.
Great. So many golden nuggets.
Even suits.
Yeah, why not?
Would I wear a suit if I didn't think it made a difference to some of the mentees, some of the bank managers, some of the people? So I can I actually look quite like them, but I can legitimately argue I'd be in fucking shorts and t-shirt if it was just me. So I don't want a suit. But because I'm buying a suit, I'm going to put at least 2 or 3 suits a year through my business, legitimately, because it's my work uniform.
Yeah, great. Love that. You've shared so many tips in this mini podcast, and I wanted to get straight to the point. You're hugely successful. You're a great mentor. Where can people find you, Mike? What's going on for you right now? And could you just summarize with 2 or 3 golden words just to finish us off?
Yeah. So LinkedIn is my primary social media. Mike Greene with an E. Success is a System. If they put that in, they'll find me. Or my Success is a System podcast. They'll find me. I'm on many platforms, but they're the primary ones. And what I'd say to people is, I've failed, I've succeeded. Failure is hard. Success is hard, but failure is harder. Wake up every day looking forward to the day, and if you're not, look at what you're doing. I retired 12 years ago, bored shitless. I will work till the day I die now, but I work doing things I love. Yeah. When I want to do it, I'm going to make the time to breathe every day. I'm going to make the time for my family whenever. So my phone is here. It's not on. We're having a podcast. If my wife or my 2 daughters rang, that's set up so it would still ring. Yeah. And I've interrupted a whole Morrison's board meeting that I was speaking at to speak to my daughter once because she rang. Now, they know not to ring unless they need to during working day, but make time for the people that are most important to you, and you're the most important person first, then it's the people who are important to you outside of you. Do things you love. If you find your passion, you will find your purpose. And if you find your purpose, you will be successful.
Wow, love that. Well, look, it's been great having you back on the show. Love your energy, love your outlook. There's a lot of opportunity for people out there right now, whoever they are. And if we can do it, they can certainly do it. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a share, and make sure that you tune in to more episodes right now. So if you are somebody that really wants to create more wealth for you and your future, then why don't you look at becoming a professional property investor where you can take advantage of the UK's #1 asset class and make passive income and also capital appreciation. So I'd invite you now to click the link in the comments or the bio and go and access my latest book called Property Success. This is where I introduce you to the 7 step-by-step system known as the Property Freedom Formula that I have used personally to do over £31 million worth of property development. So go and do that right now. I really hope you enjoy this asset, and it could be the difference that makes the difference and gets you up and running in the next 90 days.